Okay, the next one we're going to talk about here is the application problems with linear functions, finding a coordinate given the slope and a point. This is probably the second hardest one on your topics list for the lines objective, and we'll kind of walk you through how to do it. It has a couple steps to it. You just got to be able to identify what you're looking for. So you got the height in centimeters of a candle is a linear function. Of course it is. Candle burns down. The longer it burns, the smaller it gets. That makes sense. Okay. So it has a picture of the graph right there, which is kind of nice. It tells you a lot, and it tells you the slope. That is the key thing there. It tells you that this is the slope. That's big. Okay, so you don't have to find the slope. That's nice. And then they give you a point. They give you a point, 20, 16. That's a point. Okay, so if we put that all together, okay, we're going to try to develop an equation. And once we have the equation, we're going to plug in the 17 for my hours, which happens to be an x value, okay? And we'll find the answer. So let's think about what form we want to use. We probably want to use the classic y equals mx plus b because it's very easy to use, okay? And we're given the slope and we're given a point, okay? You can notice the point right here. This is my x coordinate. That's my y coordinate, okay? So x, y. All right, so let's just summarize all that. Let's write it down. We got my point is 2016 and my slope is negative 0.6, okay? All right, so if we fill that all in, I have everything except for my b. You'll notice that I don't have my b. I'm going to have to find that. That's my first step, find that b. So, filling it all in now. All right, we got this is my x value, my y value. So y, which is 16, equals my slope, which is negative 0.6 times my x value, which happens to be 20, plus my b value, okay? So that's what I want to solve for. I want to solve my b value. So if you go negative 0.6 times 20, use your calculator for that, okay? Negative 0.6, and negative 0.6 times 20, that's going to give you negative 12. So I have 16 equals negative 12 plus b, okay? Now you want to add that 12 over to the other side, right? So plus 12 plus 12. So I get b is equal to 16 plus 12. That's going to give you 28. And then from there, all we need to do is write the equation because we have everything we need. Let's see what we have. I'll highlight in blue what we have. We have the b value, which is great, and we have the slope. And remember, if you're writing a linear equation, that's all you need is the b and the slope. So let's put that in the equation here. We'll do it in red, I guess. So y equals your slope, which is negative 0.6x, plus your b value, so plus 28. Okay, so that's my equation. Now, I'm almost done. The only thing you have to find is, what is that candle after 17 hours? Geez, it's a big candle, right? 17 hours. So we're going to put that in for the x or the y. Well, how do we know? Well, hours is an x value, so I'm going to plug it in for x. So y is going to be equal to negative 0.6 times 17, which is my x value, plus my initial value, which is 28, and we're going to figure out what we get. So y is going to be equal to, punch that all in your calculator, do it in one step. So negative 0.6 times 17 plus 28, bam, 17.8. 17.8, and there's your answer, and you are done. How do you like that? You got it, right? Okay, so that's your second hardest one. Make sure you give that one a shot, and then we'll talk about the hardest one next, okay?